Let's go. Oh, look at him. Oh yeah, group earthbending. Let's go. Oh, it's Zuko! Alright, Avatar Episode 7, continuing, moving towards the North Pole. The pacing has been great, even though it's taking a minute for us to get to the North Pole. All the things they've put in between that have been really good. All the plot points, the character development, and the potential setup for future episodes and maybe in the later seasons. Stuff that I personally really enjoy, so even if it takes a few more episodes maybe to get to the North Pole, I'm really enjoying what they've been doing. Real quick before the episode here, if you guys are interested in early access to these Avatar videos, I am several episodes ahead over on Patreon. It's currently the best way to support the channel, and I would love to be doing more on Patreon as well, such as full uncut reactions and maybe even some Patreon specific series recommended by you guys. So if that's something you're interested in, there'll be a link in the description down below. Chapter 7, The Spirit World, Winter Solstice Part 1. Okay, this is sounding like some good stuff. We might be in for it now. Oh.
It's like a scar.
A scar? On all the... Oh, I see. Of course.
Aang, are you okay?
Does he recognize this place, maybe?
Why would anyone do this?
Right, or it's just, yeah.
This happened?
Just the Fire Nation, being the Fire Nation.
It has nothing to do with you. Yes, it does. It's the Avatar's job to protect nature.
Right.
But I don't know how to do my job.
That's the other thing, hey.
To find you a teacher. Yeah, a waterbending teacher.
What about an Avatar teacher? Yeah, that's the thing.
Monkey Atsu said that Avatar Roku would help me.
That's right.
He died over 100 years ago. How are you supposed to talk
Nah,
to him?
there's some connection between him and the past Avatars, right?
Uncle, it's time to leave. Where are you?
Here we go, Mozuko. Yes, sir.
Over here.
Look at Uncle. He is the guy. There's no rush for Uncle Iroh.
Prince Zuko, why don't you join me in these hot springs?
It's time to go.
And so hasty, Zuko.
Teacher, I heated it myself.
Oh, sick. That's kind of dope. I don't mind that.
Get out of the water.
Very well.
On second thought.
Good censorship, Zuko.
Are you ready to be cheered up? No. Ow!
Hey.
Hey, how is that cheering me up?
Cheered me up. Ow.
These acorns are everywhere, Aang.
That's new life, right?
That means the forest.
Yeah, yeah. Momo.
All the birds and animals that live
See,
here.
Katara's like this, though. She seems to know what to say in these moments.
Are you the Avatar child?
He asks for Katara's permission.
We need your help. So the rumors of your return are true.
So who are these people? What's their deal?
It's nice to meet you too.
It's a cool shot. I like the lighting.
So,
I don't know how to feel about the situation yet.
For the last few days at sunset, a spirit monster comes and attacks our village.
A spirit monster.
He is Heibai,
Hey, bye.
akin to white spirit.
Oh, okay. Is this a real thing?
But each of the last 3 nights, he has abducted one of our own.
Okay.
As the solstice approaches, the natural world and the spirit world grow closer and closer.
Ooh, okay.
The line between them is blurred completely.
Wonder if that has something to do with Aang as the Avatar, the spirit world stuff.
Who better to resolve a crisis between our world and the spirit world?
This is what I'm saying, man.
The Avatar.
Makes a lot of sense.
You are the great bridge between man and spirits.
right, that's me.
I like that. It's hard to see Aang as that as he is right now, though, hey.
Aang, you seem a little unsure about all
I mean, I do as well, to be honest.
That might be because I don't know anything at all about the spirit world.
It's fitting this would happen now when Aang wasn't sure
Not like
about how to be the Avatar, you know?
Stuff.
Yeah.
So I have to try, don't I?
Maybe he has to figure it out himself.
You will just come to me. I think you can do it, Aang.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the
We're
homies.
all gonna get eaten by a spirit monster.
Sokka, you ruined it. My man is asleep. He is big chillin'. Uncle is he's so real for this.
Dozed off and missed my nephew's deadline.
What's this thing doing? Oh, something's happening. Earthbending? Ooh.
He's no ordinary soldier. This is the Fire Lord's brother.
Damn, they know him too.
West.
Dragon of the West?
Iroh.
Iroh was that guy back in the day. Interesting, interesting. I like this. Good developments.
The sun is set. Where are you, Heibai? I hereby ask you to please leave this village in peace.
At least he's trying something.
Well, I guess that's settled then.
Don't be naive. We've talked about this. Here we go. Okay, what are we doing then? Ooh. I don't know what I was expecting. Hey, it's kind of big, no? Ugh.
You must be the Heibai spirit. My name is...
Ugh, yeah, that ain't it. Ugh. Oh, look at the way it moves. That's kind of cool. I didn't know we were doing like spirit world things like monsters like this in this show.
The Avatar's methods are unusual.
Hey, he's trying to figure it out, my man. Give him some time.
Maybe we should go help him.
No, only the Avatar stands a chance against the Heibai.
Then we'll figure out the right thing to do, Sokka.
Once again, I try not to pause too much, but I just find this situation very interesting. I could be completely wrong about this, but I'm looking this at, it's either two different things, and it's probably the first one here that like this is kind of Aang kind of figuring out how to be the Avatar, this whole spirit situation. Or the other thing, and I'm just being suspicious maybe for no reason here, maybe Sokka's rubbing off on me, but it's just because this guy is making sure it's only Aang involved here. Maybe they're trying to set Aang up somehow. I might just be overthinking. I just wanted to get that thought out. But more likely, I think it's the first thing. This is some growth for Aang, probably.
I'm just trying to do my job as Spirit Prince.
Maybe he needs to figure out what he needs to do in this instance. Ooh, yeah, okay, that's not what he wanted.
That's it. He needs help.
Sokka, wait!
Maybe it's not just about Aang. Maybe it's got to be the homies too. He doesn't have to do it alone. Sokka, nice try.
We'll fight him together, Aang.
I don't want to fight him
Unless he has to. Now you've got a reason. But that's interesting in itself. Aang doesn't want to fight unless he has to. So it just wanted to abduct someone, and it abducted Sokka.
Uncle, where are you?
And Iroh's been taken by the Earthbenders.
Without him.
Something's not right here. Those rocks didn't move naturally. My uncle's been captured by Earthbenders.
Maybe a little side quest for Zuko here while this is going on with Aang. Ooh, interesting that we're back here. Maybe that's where the spirit was born from. Into the spirit world? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, what's this? Is that a big old bear? And a bunch of cubs? What's going on here?
I failed.
What are these things? They're like camels, but they're like emus? Like chickens?
Where are you taking me?
I'll put some clothes on him at least. Come on now.
You once laid siege to it for 600
Ooh,
years. Ah, the great city of Ba Sing Se.
interesting.
It was greater than you were, apparently.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm still tired.
You gonna have another nap. Yo! He's so dramatic, I love it. He done something on purpose. Yeah, he's left this. Yep. He's left a little trail for Zuko. He's a smart man.
Your brother is in good hands.
Uh-oh.
I would be shocked if the Avatar returned with
Uh-oh.
Katara, I lost him.
She better be asleep. Ooh, hang on. Ooh, he's not here.
What? No, I'm right here.
Oh, I like this stuff. I like this stuff.
I'm in the
I reckon this black and white spirit thing is just trying to take people with it so it's not lonely. Don't smell it. Did you need to smell it to know?
Like they said, I'm the bridge between the worlds, right? All I have to do is figure out what I have to do.
Yeah, I actually think that's it. Yeah.
Appa, hey buddy, I'm right here. But I guess you
Oh, I was kind of hoping Appa would see him. That would be cool.
Avatar Roku, how can I talk to
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Figure it out.
Sokka?
He's in the spirit world with him. What is this? Another monster? We can't. Oh, there's no air in the spirit world. He can't bend.
I can't airbend in the spirit world.
Oh, it's like a dragon. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, it's pretty cool. That's Roku for sure. Oh, did he ride this dragon?
Animal guide. Like Appa is to
Oh, I see.
Is there some way for me to talk to Roku?
And Roku had a dragon?
I'll be back, Katara.
Hey, this is. I like this. I like this a lot. Animal guide. So all the avatars had animal guides, perhaps? That's really cool. He saw that,
What's the
and they called him the Dragon of the West. That's really interesting. Oh, that would hurt so much. Damn. Don't mess with Uncle. Oh, he best not be in a volcano. That would be too epic. Fire temple, perhaps?
Hey, what are you doing?
Nah, you're in the spirit world, man. It's chill. Oh, yeah, that's dope. That looks so
I don't
cool.
understand. This is just a statue of Roku. Is that what Roku wants to talk to me about? A comet?
Oh,
When can I...
when the light lines up. A comet? What that mean? In days? The winter solstice, surely.
It's a calendar, and the light will reach Roku on the solstice.
Uh-huh. Interesting. That island looks really cool, by the way.
He is too dangerous.
Damn. The earthbending is legit.
Just carry him to the capital.
Ooh, here he is. Here he is. Uh-oh. Here we go.
The Avatar.
Immediately forgets about Uncle. Ah, this is the thing, isn't it? Uncle or Avatar? Ooh, I like that. Which does he choose?
Whoa.
Oh, that's where Aang's body is. Okay, but he needs to go back into the spirit world to talk to Roku on the solstice, yeah? That's what I'm getting from that. And Aang was up there like meditating. Did he do that on purpose? This big bear. It's good stuff here. There's good stuff. Don't know what a lot of it means, to be honest, but it's good stuff.
You're back!
What about Sokka?
Where's Sokka? I'm not sure.
But we learnt a lot. We learnt a lot of things, though. You know, Zuko time. Yes, sir! You ain't no match for Zuko.
Inform Prince Zuko.
You taught me well.
Nice.
It's 5 against 2.
Nah, they don't matter.
Clearly outnumbered.
But you are clearly outmatched.
Talk to him. Oh yeah, we don't even need to bend. Okay, Iroh. Loves these sweeping kick movements Zuko does. He's too clean with it.
Now,
Hey,
put on some clothes.
that's what I'm saying. Uncle and Zuko might be the best characters. Well, here it is, it's back.
You are the spirit of this forest.
I see, I see.
You're upset and angry because your home was burned.
I thought this might be the case. But why does it keep coming here?
A friend gave me hope that the forest would grow back.
That's a panda. Yes, I see. The black and white, of course. That's cool. And oh no, the pit. Wow, that's such a sick interpretation of all that.
If only there were a way to repay you for what you've done.
You could give us some supplies and some money.
He didn't waste any time.
It would be an honor.
He's right though.
I'm so proud of you, Aang. You figured out what to do all
Yeah, and this was the point of this episode.
I did have a little help.
Roku.
Or something else.
So is this like what's gonna happen?
I need to talk to Roku, and I think I found a way to contact his spirit.
But on the solstice, no?
There's a temple on a crescent-shaped island, and if I go there on the solstice, I'll be able to speak with
Ah, I see. Okay, he can go there physically.
This is tomorrow. Yeah, and there's one more problem.
Big old
The
comet.
island is in the Fire Nation.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. Ooh, good stuff though. Crescent-shaped island, crescent-shaped moon. I like it. See, another episode. We're not at the North Pole yet. I don't know if we're ever going to get there. But in fact, that might be the whole point of this season. You know, it's book 1. It's all about water. We'll see. But again, this episode had a point to it. It might even have had multiple points, throwing in that Zuko and Iroh as well. So right off the bat, we see this huge section of forest that's been burned down by a Fire Nation attack, obviously. And there's a couple of different themes here, I think. First of all, there's the obvious one that Aang is really sad about this, saying it's the Avatar's duty to protect nature. And whilst Katara does say, hey, look, there's nothing you really could have done about that, Aang still feels guilty that he doesn't even know what he could have done. And that's the big overarching theme over this episode, about for Aang finding his own way to be the Avatar. He doesn't have anyone around him physically in the present to help him like he did Gyatso 100 years ago, but he has to find his own way, and it's very difficult for him. He doesn't even know where to start, and Katara's effort to cheer Aang up is showing him all the acorns, you know, symbolizing that the forest will regrow, which is a really cool theme that comes back right at the end of the episode. episode as well. And initially you think it's just one of those TV show, cartoon, anime, pure coincidences that this town is here and needs help from a spirit, but later you find out it's not coincidence. It's because the forest has been burned down that all of this is happening. So the spirit that's attacking this village is Haybite, the black and white spirit. And it's the spirit of the forest, you know, symbolizing the part of the forest that got burnt down. It's angry and that's why it's attacking the village. Why this village specifically, I don't know. It probably just needs to do something, but it's taking people into the spirit world. And I believe what they said was once the winter solstice happens, there won't be a connection between the two worlds and they won't be able to get the people back or something like that. And it makes perfect sense that Aang is here and Aang is the one that can do something about this, as he is the avatar, and they refer to him as the bridge between, you know, the real world and the spirit world. But once again, Aang's faced with something he has absolutely no idea what to do about, and he does throw out the idea of maybe he can somehow communicate with Roku about what to do, but he tries to deal with this spirit in his own way. He does mention to Sokka before the spirit takes Sokka that he doesn't want to fight it unless he has to, but it doesn't really give him a choice after it takes Sokka and he has to chase after it. So he catches up to it as it disappears completely into the spirit world, and Aang is left surrounded by like these statues of what we later find out to be, you know, the panda, like the spirit of the forest, and a bunch of other cubs, I believe. And whilst he is there, Aang finds himself in the spirit world. And before we get to what goes on with Aang in the spirit world, there's this whole other B plot kind of happening with Uncle Iroh and Zuko as well. So I love the contrast between Iroh, who is a very well-established Fire Nation veteran. He's very well respected and he's just chilling. He's so relaxed. He's in no rush. And then there's Zuko, you know, who's been banished. He's trying to prove himself. He's in such a hurry. So there's such a contrast between the two characters. But funnily enough, in this instance, if Uncle had listened to Zuko, he probably wouldn't have been captured by the Earthbenders that showed up. And the Earthbenders know who he is. The Fire Lord's brother, the great dragon of the West, the once great general. I would love to see some stuff about what Iroh has done in the past. Like, he sounds like he was really doing some things like that 600-day raid on one of the earthbending cities or something. That sounds awesome. But they capture Uncle Iroh and he does a good job of like leaving one of his sandals behind so Zuko can potentially track him down and find him. And Iroh almost gets out of the situation by himself. Like, he heats up one of the cuffs when the guy goes to grab it. Like, that would have hurt so much, and he does some cool like firebending stuff while he's still tied up. But he can only do so much while he's tied up, and the earthbenders eventually capture him again. And whilst that's all going on, Aang is in the spirit world and Katara and Appa are kind of trying to find him, whilst at the same time Zuko is trying to find his uncle. And I really love that they put this in here, right? Zuko is looking for his uncle, but he sees Appa in the sky and he's like, that's got to be Aang, the avatar. And we know Zuko, we know, you know, the avatar is his driving force. He wants to bring the avatar in so he can be accepted by his father. And he almost goes after Aang straight away. He almost goes to follow Appa, but he stops. He's out there looking for his uncle, and this is a pretty character defining thing for Zuko. And ultimately he does choose his uncle, which I think is huge. Like, I really love like the bond that they do have. Even though obviously Uncle is trying to teach Zuko and Zuko can sometimes be difficult, they still have quite a significant bond, you know, they are family. But Zuko arrives just in the nick of time to stop, you know, Iroh's hands being crushed, and they have a really cool fight scene. You know, they're obviously outnumbered. I think it was 5-2 by the Earthbenders, but Uncle does say, but the Earthbenders are outclassed. And Uncle doesn't even bend. He just uses the chains that he's still attached to do his work. And Zuko does some pretty cool moves as well. So I like that whole subsequence that was going on in this episode between Zuko and Uncle. Part of me was wondering if it was gonna intersect with what was going on with our main characters in this episode, but it did ever so briefly, just for Zuko to have that one decision, which I think was a pretty big moment for him. But back to Aang and his whole journey in the spirit world. So it's pretty cool that he actually can't bend while he's in the spirit world. Like, there's no air there. That's a cool little detail. But whilst he's trying to figure out what to do while he's in the spirit world, Avatar Roku's animal guide, this really cool looking dragon, appears before him, or rather the spirit of the dragon, I guess. And it's the first time we get a mention of the animal guides. Like, we know Appa has been with Aang, but the fact that potentially every avatar before him has had an animal guide as well is really cool. And it's all depending on, you know, the type of bending that they do. They get a different type of animal, I imagine. That's really cool. I'd love to see more stuff about that on past avatars potentially. And Aang was asking for Roku's help, so maybe this is Roku's way of helping Aang in this state in the spirit world, you know, just before the solstice, before they can actually talk. But the dragon takes Aang to what I'm presuming is this fire temple on this crescent-shaped island with a volcano on it. Really cool Fire Nation vibe. And in this top room, there's a statue dedicated to Roku, and something that Aang finds out is a calendar, and he gets this vision from the dragon of this comet, and he learns that he can only interact with this statue and Roku on the winter solstice, which is tomorrow. And that's really interesting. And I noticed that this episode was called Part 1, so I imagine the next episode is going to be a direct continuation of this whole winter solstice situation. But that's really interesting. I really hope Aang and Roku actually managed to talk somehow. Maybe Roku kind of guide Aang in some way, like he was missing a mentor on how to be the Avatar this episode. And I did throw out the idea when Sokka went to help Aang when he was fighting the spirit, that maybe it's not just about Aang finding his own way. Maybe it's about him, you know, using his friends and accepting the help of the people around him to help find his way. Maybe it's not just about him finding his own way. And I'm wondering if, like, is this comet like in the present? Like, is this about to happen? I'm not sure what that means. I didn't think of it as a comet when I saw it. I just thought it was some like big fireball symbolizing firebending or something. But does it have something to do with Roku? Is it like a premonition? I imagine we're going to get the answers to that in the next episode. But it's good stuff to think about. I love that they put stuff in there that kind of carry over to the next episode and leaves a lot of room for questioning about what's going on. But Aang does make his way back into the real world, and when he encounters the black and white spirit again, I think he's already kind of realized what's going on. He was looking at those statues that were in the forest of what was the panda bear, right? And he places his hand on it and they kind of have a connection, and he's able to realize that yes, you're very angry because of the forest being burnt down, but he shows the same acorn that Katara showed him at the start of the episode, saying, look, this is symbolic, you know, the forest will grow back, and this is not the right way to be going about this. And then it changes into a panda, it walks away, and it leaves all this bamboo behind, and all the people that it had taken with it to the spirit world, including Sokka, come out of the bamboo, which was a really cool interpretation. Katara tells Aang how proud she is of him, of Aang being able to figure out what to do in this situation. That was the big theme of the episode. But Aang does break the news that he's kind of figured out a way how to communicate with Roku, perhaps, but the bad news is it's in the Fire Nation, and the solstice is tomorrow, so they're running out of time. And like I said during the episode, a lot of this was really cool. A lot of hard stuff to kind of grasp maybe what's going on. Lots of like symbolism and all the spirit world stuff, this comet. But it's the first episode that's really left me going, I want to watch the next episode straight away. I want to find out what happens. And that's what I'm really excited about. I want to see more episodes like that. So with that being said, I'm going to go straight into the next episode. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this and for other shows as well. And as always, please continue to leave comments and feedback down below. You know, I always appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next episode of Avatar.